Hi everybody, Jo here again. Welcome to another little Mindful Monday session with me. I must admit I'm really enjoying these sessions and it's lovely to fill our journals, and I'm so pleased that so many of you are journaling along with me. Now, last Tuesday, if you remember, we looked at panel cards, a lovely way of creating a design, very simple, and I said I would put one of these in my journal. So if you didn't see the YouTube last Tuesday, maybe pop back and have a little look. This is the panel card design that we made. Simple panel using the green sleeves Elements ink, and then we stamped one of our fabulous new stamps on it. I have to say, I can't stop using these. Logan and Lupin are officially, yes, my favourite Lavinia stamps. But you know what we're like? You know, who's to say in a couple of weeks Tracy doesn't crack up with a new design and there we go. She'll rock up and go, here, look at this, and I'll go, uh-oh, that's my new favourite. Because that's what we're like, isn't it? Do you do that? I do the same with colours. I have favourite colours, and sometimes that changes when a new ink comes out, or but I think it's lovely that we do change, and sometimes it depends how I feel, what mood I'm in. But that gets us back to our journaling. It's all about, my journal pages, it really depends what sort of mood I'm in. But that's what journals are about. It's about putting your thoughts and feelings into a book. And for me, it's about putting my artwork in. And also, I'm using it as a bit of a reminder about different techniques. So what we'll do, you know what I'm like, sorry for talking, I'm going to add this piece to my journal. Now I have created somewhere in here one side ready, and I'm going to show you. So the idea is that if I show you on this side, sorry for leaning across, we're going to add the panel design here. And it's sort of the way my head works. I thought I'd like to carry the panel in my journaling. So I've put some of the Lavinia low-tack tape on ready. And what I thought it was, I would have a play at creating this side. And then when we got together, I would finish the other side and the design. So the way my head worked was, I knew on this side, I wanted to carry the panel right across, but I wanted to add a little design. And in my stash, I've got these lovely Lavinia multifarious card. Now, they are 91 by 128 millimetres. And I know some of you are going to ask me what that is in inches. Now, it says B7. Okay, what's B7? So that's 3.5 by 5 inches. So it's 5 inches that way, 3.5 that way. And I have to say, I thought, what a brilliant size that is. Great for toppers, but perfect to put in my journal. So I used one of those, created myself a panel, and that was it. My head just worked then. I knew I wanted some little stamps. So these beautiful little pixie houses came in. And I was looking at my sentiment stickers. And we've got two lovely new sheets of sentiment stickers. One with sort of autumn designs and one with Christmas. But, saying that, they don't have to be just, we've got celebration there. That could be used any time of the year. Ring out the bells. That could be for a wedding. So, I say loosely autumn and Christmas, winter. So that got my head round. At the minute, I'm adoring using these lovely Winterberry stamps. And on the Winterberry stamps, you've got a larger one. Oh, look, sorry. Please don't look at that. I'm going to edit that bit out. That was an Eric dog hair. He gets everywhere, I'm afraid. And that's the mid sort of Winterberries. And then we've got a pound of mini Winterberries. So that was the way my head worked. And I created this side. So what I'm going to do is, I thought together we could come in and finish this side. I have difficulty showing you the whole of this. The beautiful, beautiful journals, but they're quite large. And those of you that came to the Halaganza recently, it was lovely because I could take my journal to show you. And actually, there is such a difference when you touch it and feel it. And this is the textured journal. So I'll say straight away, it's not as easy to stamp on because it's textured, but also for me, because I add inclusions and 3D items, again, it makes it harder to stamp on, but that's just the way I love my journaling. So I just have to find a way around it. Now I've put my tape on, so first of all I'm going to add this lovely new colour, this green sleeves, and considering I'm not a green person, do you know I've been using green sleeves quite a lot. So I'm just going to add lightly some of this lovely green, and again I've got my panel marked off, and even though it's my textured journal, I'm always in the habit of just dabbing the ink off on the lid. And I love it because the texture of this handmade paper really comes through. Now let me just have a look. I want to make sure I've got plenty under. So I've got choices, you see. I could even come, but I quite like it there. A bit off centre, you know me. I don't want it right in the centre, so I'll probably just offset it this way a little. So I'll just come a little bit further this way. Just for me, if I put things centre and they're not quite, even just a millimetre out, it messes with my head. So that's me for you. Right, I'm going to put the lid on that there. Now I need to know exactly where that's going to go, because I'm thinking of just stamping a couple of berries up here. So what we'll do, we'll take our, now this is fabulous, it's very low tack. If you use a tape that isn't quite as good as the Lavinia and it's not low tack, just heat it up with your heat tool. And it'll help melt that glue and it'll come off a lot easier. I am going to splash some water, but I'll wait till I've done my stamping, and I'll tell you why. Just because it's easier to stamp if it's not had water splashed on it. But I will just do my fine liner and just add that bit of scribbling along there. And I love doing this. Now, I'm going to get my copy of paper because, as I say, I've got inclusions here. And one of the ways to help your stamping is give yourself a magazine, some copy paper, a mouse mat under here. And you see, if I'm going to put that there, I could maybe just do with a little bit. Now I've got choices. Do I stamp more berries, or do I just put a black branch like that? You see, I was going to stamp. So what I will do is just have a look at that. I do want a tiny little berry up there. Just the one on its own doesn't look right. So I'm thinking, and I'm sorry, I'm moving stuff around. I tell you what, when you do these at home, if you have the large one like me and you realise how much space you need. My little craft table. So I just almost thinking if I can just catch the edge. Sometimes you don't need a lot, but if it's not there, it looks wrong. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever done that? You just need something, a little bit of a design. And again, I'm pressing firmly, look. And if I bring this back, and I'm thinking of putting that there. Yes, you see, I think it just needs that little bit behind. I could stamp on here, but I don't want to spoil that. So I'm happy with that. And then we're going to move down here. And again, I've got my copy of paper under this. Because what I'm thinking is, I just want one this side. So again, if you just bear with me. And again, I'm doing a nice firm, I'm actually standing up to stamp. And as, oh, not to my light. So as you can see, it does stamp beautifully. And I think just a little off. But if I hadn't got the copy paper underneath, and if I wasn't mindful with my stamping, as I say, the two things, it's a textured paper we're stamping on, but also I've got all those inclusions underneath. Now, ideally for me, I would have one there. But my problem is I definitely can't stamp in that. So that's something I'll think of. I may just draw a black line up there because I really don't like it symmetrical. But saying that, let me just see, could I put another, or I may put a sentiment there. Well, that's going to go over that. So actually, but you have to learn sort of where you can stamp and where you can't. And then I'm thinking this corner here, I could just do with a little bit of stamping. And I love colouring these berries. So again, I've got my copy of paper underneath. And then I want the, where's my single? Here it is, the mini berry. Thinking if I just have one of these, because it's larger, I like that. And let's just have one of those. And again, I keep bringing this in just to give me an idea how it's going to look. Because I just want these in the, yeah, I need something there, don't I? It's almost, again, that's just too symmetrical for me. And I think we'll go with the sort of mid one. But I know I've got a big inclusion under here. So let's just, come on, help me. Give it a bit of, there we go. Lovely. And I'm just going to leave this in while I add my colour. And again, I'll tell you why, because obviously we've got these metal and these inclusions. It'll just be easier to colour in with keeping that under. I'm going to use my watercolour pencils. And in this lovely tin, take this tin with me everywhere, there's two reds, look. And I've got to be honest, for me, I find the best way is to literally colour the berries with the two reds. So I tend to just go around the edge. And again, we're talking textured paper, so you'll be aware when you're colouring. But like I say, for me, I love the effect that it gives. Now again, you can use any colouring that you like. Your Posca pens would look nice. I've got a lovely red Posca. But I must admit, for the journaling, I love my watercolour pencils. I just think there's something about it to just sit and relax and colour. So I may just forget where I am, I'm afraid. I may forget you're here. Although, as you know, I do talk to myself. So whether you're here or not, I have to say, if the boys or the grandchildren sneak in and hear me, I always just say I'm talking to Eric. So bless him. He was very naughty the other day. I went out for the day. My friend and I went to do a Christmas makers market for my son where he works. And Eric spends the day in my craft room, and I'd been making some gift tags. And for some reason, well, I think because he's a Labrador and he's never done anything like this before, he actually ate some of the ornamental berries that I've been using on my tags. Luckily, they only had a few, and I only knew because there was some sort of little red marks on my grey carpet in my craft room. I know, carpet in a craft room, well, that doesn't go well, does it? But it was in when we moved in. Anyway, luckily they're just sort of like little polystyrene, and they haven't swollen up, and he hasn't been sick, and he's been fine since, touch wood. It was a couple of days ago. But honestly, whether it's because we left him for the day, I don't know. He's never done anything. So I'm just going to add some water. But it was funny because I had some of these lovely red berries in my tray. Again, my own fault for leaving it on the floor. But you know what it's like, ladies and gentlemen. I just file things on the floor when I've no space. Look how these pop. Oh, don't they look gorgeous with that water? And as I say, just do it as we're chatting. Yeah, and there was red ones in my tray, some lovely white ones and some silver ones. And do you know he only ate the red ones? I mean, I dare say if any of you are, obviously know more about dogs than I do, I don't know, are they colourblind? Are they not? Do you think there was something in the red berries? I've checked and they didn't, you know, they didn't have a scent. But he definitely just liked those red berries. There was just something about it that he liked. And I have no idea what. He just really liked it. Right, while that's drying, we're just going to get our fan brush. And I'm just going to flick. We've got some faux bleach in this side. So we'll just flick some water on there. And while that one's drying, in our original, I had some little flicks. And again, we want the background to, we want the whole thing, the whole 2 pages to be a cohesive design. So I've got some colours of the ink there. So if I look just in a couple of areas, I need some colours of the ink. So what we'll do is we'll find a little space, she says, on our matte look. We'll add a little bit of the green sleeves to it. We'll come in with our fan brush and then we'll just add a few little flicks and again go right across, and that can be drying. So we'll clean that up, otherwise we'll be putting our journal right inside it. And I have to say, I do love these berries and I love the way they colour. So what I will do now, I think I'm at the stage where I can attach this. So I've got a little bit of tape on the back, which I'm just quickly taking off. And then I'm going to come in with our bippity boppity glue. And I'm just going to, you know me, belt and braces, I like my tape and my wet glue. And we'll just have a look where, so I'm thinking that lines up there, that lines up there. The beauty of it is, if you mat and layer something on the black card, you've got a little bit of wiggle space when you're lining things up. You know, I like a good cheat, so for me, that's a good cheat there. Now I'm just going to put my pencils back in my tin because I'm very protective over my pencils and I don't want to knock them on the floor. So if you can with pencils, always put them back in the tin because obviously the tin will protect them. Now normally I would let this dry a little bit longer, but I want to add the white highlights to these gorgeous berries, and what a difference this makes. So as I say, normally I would let that watercolour painting dry a bit longer, but I think we'll be all right. And for me, this just makes such a difference. Now I could add glossy accents and give them a bit of a glaze, but again, that will take time to dry. So I think we can get rid of that paper now. So let's have a look. See, I think that is lovely. I do want to add some white splats though. I've got my Posca pen. Now this is the one that the nib keeps coming out, and thank you to the lady who said her nib kept coming out as well, but it's very good at splatting. So I'm aware that the nib might come out, but I'm not going to let that worry me because I just want a few. Well, oh look, it's coming out now. Get back in. I love doing this. It's quite funny again, if my husband's working at home in his office, all he can hear is me and he'll say, oh, I know you've been splatting. Right, that's enough. I'm happy with that. Just clean these brushes are so good for that, you know. And then I'm just wondering, I'm thinking I could just do with another little sentiment here. So let's have a look. What do you think between us? So I've got winter berries on this side with my gorgeous winter berries, look. And then this side, I've got Destiny, which I put on when we made the topper, but I just think another word here. So see, we could have Let It Snow because I flicked the snow, but I want to save that for something else. Do you do that? I'm terrible with that. I'm going to go for the word blessings because otherwise, I'm sorry, I would just stay for so long and you'll be there drinking your coffee, you'll have finished your coffee, you'll have eaten your biscuit and you'll be saying, Joe, come on. But also what I think, if I put blessings there, look, if I try and show you the whole, I think the blue helps with that and helps keep it a cohesive design. And also I've got 3 sentiments then and we like odd numbers. So again, I'm using my scissors and yes, I just want it there at the top. And then we'll just add with the fine liner, the border to that. And I'm happy with that. I don't want to add any more. I don't want to overdo it because I just love, and I'll show you the best I can. Look, I love those 2 pages together. Now, I must admit, the other day when I came back after the extravaganza, when I'd been to the shop and I had these new stickers, I went through my journal and I added some extra stickers to some pages that I'd already done. So I'd actually made myself a front cover, the inside pages. And so that's quite a good tip, look. I added a couple of stickers. There was actually 3 stickers I added here. All Hallows Eve, Autumn Equinox and the full moon. So it's quite nice sometimes if you leave a page and if you're not sure how to finish it off, you know, don't think you have to do it straight away. You can always go and add another day. But I like that. I'm happy with that. And I'm hoping it gives you an idea. And I love the fact, I think it all started off with that panel card design. But you think you could do panel cards. You could do different colours. You could have the panel at the bottom. So you could have 2 panels. You know, again, oh, I love doing this because it gives me so many ideas. And for me, once I start with my journal and the ideas keep flowing, to me, that's the bit that I love. So thank you very much for joining me again. Honestly, I really appreciate your company. And thank you for joining in with our lovely journey. You take care, everybody. Love and hugs from me. And be kind to each other. See you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.